All right, if you're watching this, you're on the Apex Vaulting YouTube channel. You've probably seen some of our tutorial videos. We go over drills. We also just post stuff on social media, like on our Apex Vaulting account, on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, like when people PR and different athletes that we work with. And we also have the Apex Vaulting podcast, where could sometimes be an episode of just me talking about some technical stuff. Can also be, maybe talking to athletes and coaches about various different pole vault topics. And what I think I wanted to add is these maybe shorter form videos on our YouTube channel where you get a little bit deeper into things. I know for a lot of the athletes and people who come to Apex Vaulting, one of the big things for everybody is kind of talking to me about connecting pole vault to bigger things in life. And before I go into any of those types of topics, I wanted to make this first video in this format where I'm just gonna talk. I'll be trying to post these weekly and again, talk about various different topics, but want to give a little bit of background on Apex Vaulting, the beginnings, where we started, how this all came about. I started out as an English teacher, and around 2005, I started coaching. Now, that being said, I probably was not the best candidate for coaching pole vault, but as many people out there know, it's like if you are just aware of pole vaulting, they will let you coach at the high school level. I pole vaulted in high school. I wasn't very good. I didn't bend the pole. I only jumped 10.6. I helicoptered over the bar. And it's interesting because I do remember going to a Coach Don Hood camp. For those of you that don't know, he was a great Division II pole vault coach at Abilene Christian University. They had 3 18-footers in 1 year, which is phenomenal at the D1 level, never mind Division II. And, that was a great experience. But again, going back to my high school, we didn't have a lot of equipment. Poles were limited. And so really didn't get much further my senior year. But I knew, had I gotten better instruction, I would have jumped higher. And so when I did get the opportunity to start coaching pole vault, I didn't want to let that opportunity go on my athletes. So I dug really deep. I did a lot of research. I always tell people I used to go to FedEx Kinko's, those copy printer places. I would print out everything I could find on the internet about pole vault and make my own spiral wrap books that I would study. And, then worked with various different coaches, and then, started getting some success, nothing crazy. A couple of girls jumped 10, all of a sudden 12, 6, 13 on the guy side. And 2007, we started Apex Vaulting. Fast forward to 2010, then I went full-time. I've been doing Apex Vaulting as a full-time business since 2010. And there's been massive amount of growth and evolution in my coaching, what we do here, and what Apex is about. And I guess this is what these videos are about. And one of the first topics I'll bring up, if you coach pole vaulting, you have to understand that you're not just coaching pole vault. Pole vault is a total body exercise. You are a sprinter down the runway. You need to know how to jump up at takeoff. And then we have all the stuff that happens off the ground. I think a lot of people out there, they kind of look at limited variables. And this goes throughout all realms of life. People want to say, this is the supplement that you need, or this is the vitamin, or, if you have this medical issue, you just need this one thing, it'll solve all your problems. And pole vault's no different. I think people love to hang their hat on like 1 or 2 variables and say, this is it, this is all that matters. And in the pole vault, everything matters. Everything matters. Your running form matters. So I remember that's one of my evolutions. I really started to dig deep into running form, how to run properly with front side running mechanics. Obviously, dealing with the pole, how it bends, when you should go to a stiffer pole, when you should go up a grip, when you should go down grip, when you should go to a smaller pole. All the technical stuff off the ground. And again, I don't want to go too deep into the pole vault stuff. I mean, there's plenty of videos on the channel about technique and how I feel about technique, and I'm sure I'll talk about it in some of these little weekly videos that I post. But right now, what I'm saying is, like, I had to stray from that. I had to start going into other disciplines. We had to go into running form. Then eventually it was like, okay, well, how do you run faster? Well, you need to lift weights. I had to dig deep into strength and conditioning. And what I would implore everybody watching is, yes, definitely ask people in the field of pole vault their thoughts on running form, strength and conditioning. But most pole vault people aren't doing this full time, and they're so centered on pole vault, they're not always the best sources for some of that other stuff. And I know for me, I started looking at, people like Carl Lewis, his coach Tom Tellez, then Ben Johnson and Charlie Francis, which I know for track people listening, Charlie Francis is not a great name in track, but in the strength and conditioning world, Charlie Francis is very highly revered. And so I started looking into that, like how did Charlie Francis program strength and conditioning for track athletes? Started looking into other things like Westside Barbell with Louis Simmons, how they get their athletes stronger. And all of this in the effort to help my vaulters jump as high as they possibly can. Even if we go to nutrition, right? Like going into all different ways, like, how much protein does an athlete need? Is saturated fat important? Started going everywhere we could to just help everyone jump a little bit higher. Because I think the thing that we have to remember with the pole vault, not everybody's going to the Olympics, all right? Not everybody can make it to that stage, but everyone can jump higher. And I think all of us in life in general want to do the best that we can. Not everybody's going to be a billionaire. Not everybody's going to be, a professional athlete. But we want to do the best that we can. And I think that's what, if I want to encapsulate what is Apex Vaulting really about, one of my former athletes, and he used to coach a lot, and he still fills in when he can, Billy Fredericks, he said something great. Apex Vaulting, regular people working really hard. And I thought that was just a great line by Billy, because that's what Apex Vaulting really is about. It's about regular people working really hard and trying to find out how far can they go. In the pole vault, how high can I jump? How much can I figure out this event technically? How much can I push my body and train? And the thing is, when we approach things in that way and we really try our best, and I'm going to end with this because I want to make these short. When we really try our best, there are going to be lessons that you learn that you can apply for the rest of your life. And I think if you're out there coaching pole vault or you're out there pole vaulting, don't lose sight of connecting what you're doing in the pole vault to real life. You may not get a scholarship. You may not set that school record. If you do, great. But you've got to be able to take more from this event than just the PRs. You have to be able to take what you've learned here, and I'm telling you, I can almost care less how high your PR is. It's more about how hard you work. Because if you work hard, you will learn the lessons and you will be able to apply it to the rest of your life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like this format. It's a little bit free form. And I'm going to try to do these weekly for everyone. See you next time.